Hey friends, welcome to our blending lesson today. Today is February 9th and we are working in Unit 3, Week 4, which is some more of those long vowels. So this week we're doing long E, which says E. We are doing long O, which says O, and we are doing long U, which says U, and all three of those are going to be spelled with a blank E. So long E, E blank E. Long O, O blank E. Long U, U blank E. So just like with long A and long I, that E at the end of the word is like a trigger. It's a signal that when you see the E at the end of the word, it's going to switch it from the short sound, eh, or ah, or to the long sound, E, O, U. All right, so let's go ahead and do high frequency words first. Of course, make sure if you know it, say it. That's going to help you practice and become better at it. And if you don't know, then definitely repeat after me. If you go back and review the video during your independent time, turn the sound off and try all of these on your own. All right. Why? Away. Pretty. Should, upon, so, girl, boy, done, work, soon, by, people, old, any, from, together, grow, now, today, some, way, green, water, once, happy, how, ago, every, and after. Thank you so much if you're participating. All right, we'll get to our blending. So the first line that we're going to do is working with the long U sound, which when you say the word cube, go ahead, cube, it's the middle sound that you hear. Cube, cube. And this week, it's going to be spelled with U blank E. So we do have a whole bunch of other ways that we can spell long U. This week, we're just going to focus on U blank E so we can become real masters of that spelling so that, in a few more weeks, we can get to some of the other ones. All right. So, first word, cute. Your turn. Ka. You. Sorry. Ta. Cute. Cute. So. C says ka. U blank E. U with its buddy E. Without the E, it's a. As soon as you see an E, it's you. Ka. You. T says ta. Ka. You. Cute. So you may have even seen this word in a book a bunch of times, or you've seen it somewhere that you've been reading a whole bunch of times. So by now, when you're seeing it, you may already recognize the word, and you don't even necessarily have to know that U blank E makes that long U sound because you've seen it enough, you've practiced it enough that you just know when you see it, oh, cute. There is a cute puppy. All right, next word. Cube, like the cube card. Ka, U, ba. Cube, cube. So when I say the word cute and I say the word cube, the only sound that's different I hear is that middle sound. When I say cute, I hear C. And when I say cube, I also hear C. And when I say cute, long U. And when I say cube, I'm also going to hear long U. Ka, U. Only one that's different. Cute says ta. Cube says ba. Ka, cube, cube. Next word. Fume. Your turn. You. Fume. There is some not so good. Fumes in the air. U-F-U. Few. M says fume. Fume. All right. These next few words are going to be using some E blank E. So that's the long E sound, which says E. All right, so let's read our long U words. Cute, cube, fume. Your turn. Thank you. All right, next word. Pete. Your turn. Pa-E-T. Pete. So Pete is a name. He's a person. So that means we have to capitalize his name. And P says pa. E blank E makes that long E sound. T says ta. Pa. Eat. Pete. So if I don't have an E at the end of the word, then that E is just going to say the regular short sound, like egg. And that word, pet, that is not the same as the word Pete. As soon as that E comes along, it switches. The E will stop saying and it will start saying E. Right. Next word. Eve. Your turn. E. V. Eve. Eve is also a name. Or at least the way that I'm writing it. Eve can also be like Christmas Eve, like before, the day before Christmas. E blank E, like the tree card says E. V says V. Eve. Eve. Next word. These. Your turn. E. These. So when I say the word these, I hear like the thumb card. So TH, it's one of those digraphs that you just have to know because it doesn't say ta and ha. As soon as TH is together, it says like thumb. So TH says E blank E, long E sound. E, the. And S says s, ease, these. So this word is kind of like, are these shoes yours or are they his? Do these shoes belong to you or your brother? All right. Next word. These ones are going to use some long O sounds, like the boat card. So let's read our long E's first. Pete, Eve, these. Your turn. Beautiful. All right, so long O sounds. So when you say the long O sound, it's the middle sound that you hear in boat. Boat. I hear the letter O, so it's the long sound. All right, so the word is those. Your turn. O. Those. So when I say the word these and the word those, I still hear the TH, the thumb, at the beginning. In fact, the only thing that's different is that long sound. So TH, and O blank E, like the boat card, O. So instead of E, O, and S says S, O's, those. So you would use the word those, like are those shoes yours or his? Or you could use that word these. If you would use those if you're pointing to something. Are those your shoes? You would use the word these if you were holding on to those shoes. You know, mom walks up to you and she's got a pair of shoes in her hand and she comes into your room and she says, are these shoes yours? Or let's say that the shoes are over there on the floor and mom might say, hey, are those your shoes? That's the difference between those two words. All right, next word. Whole. Your your turn. Huh? O, ul, hole, hole. There is a hole in my sweatshirt. I need to fix it. O blank E, O. L says ul, huh, o, ul, hole. Alright, so, oh, one more long go. Vote, your turn. V, O, T, vote, vote. V says V. O blanky, like boat, says that long O sound. O. T says ta. V, O, t, vote. Remember that E just makes it say the long sound. It doesn't, this E doesn't say anything. It's silent. All it does is tell the O, stop saying ah. Now you have to say O. Just changes the sound. All right. Next word. Smoke. Your turn. Sm. O. K. Smoke. Smoke. There's smoke in the air. SM. 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 Like I said before, if you can see those two letters as one sound, it's going to be a lot easier to sound them out so that you don't have to necessarily go sm, ga, and then you forget the beginning of the word. Sm. O blank E. O. Sm. O. K says ka. Sm. Oak. Smoke. So yeah, if you try to take these, letter by letter, sound by sound, then by the time you get here, you might get lost in the word. Sm, o, a, ka, e. Oh wait, E makes O say O. Sm, o, ka, oak. You might get lost in the word. All right, next word. Pole. Your turn. Pa, o, ul. Pole, like the North Pole where Santa lives. P says pa. O blank E. The E makes the O say O, not ah. L says ul, pa, o, ul, pole. Okay, so this is like one pole. Like there's a pole holding up part of the building. So if there are many more than one, this word is going to become plural. It changes from pole to poles. And we're only adding one letter to this word pole in order to make poles. We are only adding an S. And you still have to blend it with an S. Otherwise, you're not saying the right word. Pa, o, uls, poles. All right. And last word, cone. Your turn. Ka, o, cone. So when I say the word cone, I hear ka at the beginning. Now, when we see the word cone, we see a C. So you kind of just have to remember that you can flip it from a soft C, which says S, makes the S sound, or the hard C, which is like the normal C that we always hear, the ka. So the word was cone. O blank E, like the boat card. O, ka, O. And says n, ka, o, n, cone. Right? So if you see this word in a book and you start to blend it with the regular C, ka, a, n, e, ka, a, n, e, that doesn't sound like a word that I know. Let me switch it to the long sound. Ka, on, cone. If you try to say it with the soft C, which says s, sa, n, e, sa, on, e, that doesn't sound like a word. Let me try to flip the O. S, on, sa, on. That doesn't quite sound like a real word either. Wait, let me flip the C. Ka-o-n, cone. So sometimes you kind of just have to play with the word until you find what fits, until you have just become a master at these kinds of sounds. And then you don't have to think about the rules. You just know them. Okay, so let's go ahead and read our long O words. Those, whole, vote, smoke, poles, and cone. Your turn. Thank you so much. All right, let's do a sentence. Move these up here for a bit. Capital S, beginning of a sentence, might also be a name or title. S-T, sta, sta. And E blank E, like the tree card. So that's gonna, that E makes the E say E instead of eh. Steve. V says v, sta, E, v, Steve. Oh, look at that. It's a name. It's a person. It's a noun. W says what? And O blank E, boat card. O blank E says O. Remember, it's just an O, says aw. E comes along, switches, and says O. What? O. K says ka, wa, oak, woke. High frequency word up. Well, that was from Unit 1 or Unit 2. But it is a high frequency word. You can kind of sound it out. Pa, up. One of the few that you can. High frequency word when, which is also a high frequency word. That we can sound out now. WH, like the whale card, says wah. E says eh, and says n, wah, and when. So notice how this E, it doesn't have a body. There's no E at the end of this word. So it's just going to say eh. Steve woke up when, high frequency word he. SM, sm. E says, could say eh, could say E. Let's keep looking at the word and find out. Two L's, ol. Oh, there's no E there, so that E, it's going to stay saying the short sound, eh. Smell, smell. So let's read our sentence so far, see if it makes sense. Steve woke up when he smelled. That doesn't sound right. I need to make the word smelled. Smelled. And in order to make the word past tense, meaning that it already happened, we add ed. Smelled. Smelled. When he smelled. SM. Sm. O blank E, O, sm-o. K says ka, sm-o-k, smoke. All right, let's read our sentence. Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. Your turn. Wonderful. Okay, so we need some punctuation here. And I think that we could have two different types of punctuation. We could have a period, of course, because it's a telling sentence. Pretty much any sentence that isn't a question, you could have a period at the end of it, because it could be telling something. In this sentence, you could have a period, but I also think you could have an exclamation point, because if someone is smelling smoke in their house, it's an emergency. It's a big deal. So you might say it with a lot of oomph. Like, Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. It's a good thing that Steve woke up because he smelled that smoke. We were able to get out of the house. All right. So nouns and verbs. So we already know a noun. Steve is a noun in our sentence because he's a person. It's someone's name. A person or someone's name is always a noun. Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. So smoke is also a noun. Now, it's not something that you can really touch because it's not solid. But, you know, if you see some smoke, you could go like this. You probably don't want to because it might be a little smoke is coming from a fire. Fire is going to be hot, so the smoke might be kind of hot. It's not going to smell very good either. It's probably why Steve woke up. So those are our nouns. The word he is a pronoun. So I just like to put a dotted box around that. Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. So a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, like the main noun. So in this case, the pronoun he is taking the place of the word Steve. So you could have in this sentence, Steve woke up when Steve smelled smoke. That's a correct sentence. It just doesn't sound very good. It sounds better when you have the word he. Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. All right, so our verbs. We have two verbs. Steve is waking. Steve woke. So that's what Steve is doing. And then Steve also did something else in our sentence. What did Steve do? He smelled. Okay. So remember, the noun is always doing the verb. Okay. In this sentence, Steve woke up when he smelled smoke. Steve woke up. So I guess woke up are kind of like one action together. But woke is the real verb. It's the star of the verb piece. And that's what Steve did. What else did Steve do? Steve smelled. What did Steve smell? He smelled smoke. So this is the thing, the noun, that Steve smelled. All right. Thank you so much for your focus and your participation. It definitely pays off. You should probably review this video, maybe turn the sound off, and just really practice some of this stuff yourselves. Thanks a lot, guys.